I can't.
God,
What? Who
yeah.
put that?
Was live?
Go.
All right. Good morning. Hello to our viewers. Thank you for joining us today for a new special segment. Do opinions matter or not? As always, I'm your host, Orlando Dominguez, and today I am joined by our other co-hosts, co-host Tony, co-host Guayel, and a very special co-host Gay. Welcome to our co-host. Welcome.
Good morning, Orlando.
Morning as well, Orlando.
So, Lando, my bad, I was asleep. Yeah, by the way, it's pretty late, isn't it? What time are we shooting this at?
Relevant. Don't worry about that. Anyways, today's special will be focused on the bone-chilling play, The Crucible, by none other than Arthur Miller, back in the early 50s. It's mainly about the Salem witch trials, which occurred back in the 17th century, which involved the execution of many women which were falsely accused of witchcraft. Now, before we start, do any of our co-hosts have anything in comments? Anyone?
Yes, Orlando.
Speak.
This story here is a very peculiar one. It's quite silly what these women would be executed for. An example would be if they look up to the sky, saw it was cloudy, and said, "Looks like it's gonna rain." Just like that, you'd be executed. It was very shocking.
Really?
Yes, it is shocking, and I like how Arthur Miller wrote this screenplay, wanting to criticize the action of society when he was alive during the communistic dispute and compare it to his book about the Salem witch trials. He wrote this book to show how corrupt society is, not only in Salem, but in the world he is living in right now.
Yeah, my guy Arthur was a real game changer in his time.
What do you mean exactly, Waddell? Elaborate.
Well, I mean that his stories and plays made such a huge impact on society that even the FBI went for him once and wanted him to change one of his screenplays because it didn't agree towards the FBI. But it's whatever.
Wow. No, I did not know that. Interesting. Well said. Okay. Well, now that our co-hosts have given their comments on the play, now we should begin. See this question on Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible. Which character could have done more to end this hysteria? I'm going to start by saying this. I believe Reverend Hell could have had a major impact in stopping this hysteria from the very beginning. But I want to hear you guys. What do you guys believe about this?
Well, Mr. Host, I believe Danforth himself could have done much more to end this hysteria.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
believe Abigail Williams could have done more.
Very well. What about you, co-host Goriel? Do you believe anyone else could have done more to end this mess of hysteria? Goriel?
The people.
The people. Well, that's rather odd. What are you doing for last? Let's start with co-host Tony's reason for choosing Danforth. Interesting. So, let's see what proof you have. Why could he have done to stop this massive hysteria?
Well, Orlando, Danforth, as the most senior judge in Salem witch trials, could have put a stop to the hysteria early on by ruling that there was insufficient evidence to determine that anyone was guilty of witchcraft. But for largely selfish reasons, he chose not to. An incredibly vain man. He was so puffed up by the enormous power and prestige that the trial brought him, so in love with being at the center of attention, that he wanted the proceedings to continue for as long as possible.
Wow, that was a pretty good explanation. Well then.
Thank you. What about your character, host Orlando? Why do you believe your character could have done more?
Thank you for asking. So, as you know, Reverend Hill could certainly have done a lot more to end this hysteria. Let me tell you why. So, as both a man of God and an expert in witchcraft, he should have been able to see straight away that there was no foundation to Abigail Williams' lies and false accusations. Although he did intervene and try and halt the court proceedings, by the time it was too late, the hysteria had already gone completely out of hand, and no one was in position to stop it, no matter how hard they tried.
Wow, that was very well said. And it does make sense that he probably could have done more.
I think he does. Probably. But let's see what the other co-host, Jose, has to say. Why do you believe Abigail Williams could have done more to end this hysteria? Please, speak your mind.
Well, host Orlando, Abigail Williams could have chosen not to spread lies or to manipulate the other girls into following her lead. Just as Danforth could have seen these as special evidence over the accused. These were lies that she could have easily taken back but decided not to.
Oh, wow. Very well said, co-host will say. Now, let's move into our final co-host.
Yeah.
Co-host Godiel.
Step bro, back up.
Please.
I'll be back. Yes, Orlando?
As I was saying, please, your explanation on who do you think could have ended this mass hysteria? Please.
Oh, yeah, the people. So any number of townspeople could have refused to believe the accusations of witchcraft instead of being willing to believe that witchcraft was behind any number of occurrences, from Betty Paris' strange afflictions to the other things described, such as a cow's milk drying up, children falling ill, etc. Being able to accuse others of witchcraft effectively meant that the community members could bring about the ostracization and the ruination of their neighbors without ample evidence or proof at all, because the environment was so superstitious and supportive of these witchcraft rumors. The ignorance and superstition of the people of Salem were responsible for the hysteria. I believe that this kind of hysteria could never exist in a society like I live in today, or any of us at all. Today's courts are better than the theoretic church or courts of the late 1600s. Another thing to consider is that our even Declaration of Independence and our freedom states that we have the freedom of religion. So even if somebody was a witch in any way and didn't harm anybody, they would receive more trouble from today's media than from the law. I am glad that none of us have to go through that horror, and I'm happy we never will.
I could certainly agree with that. Very well said. Well, that was well said, actually, co-host Godiel. Well done. Well then. Well, what do you had, folks? Who could have done more to end this hysteria question? There, you had your answer from these amazing co-hosts, and I just want to thank every single one of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, host Orlando.
Thank you as well, host Orlando.
Although these co-hosts have very good arguments, these are all just opinions after all. One more segment. Do opinions matter or not? As always, I am your host, Orlando Dominguez, live from my mom's, in my room, like every day, signing off. Thank you for watching us.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go!